Hello, everyone. This is Tina Karagulian, and I just felt like speaking to you again about things that are going on within us, how to navigate change, how to see things from a different perspective. In yoga and in any kind of mindful practice, we practice pausing, resting. Like even in music, there's the rest symbol, right, where you count for a few beats. And I think those are really important. The white space, if you're a writer, right, between around the words, between the words. It's the presence that we cultivate with our own radiance, soul, whatever you want to call it. But there's so many different ways to increase that pause, being in nature, walking, and coming out of a perspective for a moment and looking at the magnitude of something that's in front of you. And noticing your place in things might be, oh, I thought this was so big when no, this is really big, and I'm resting in the pause. I'm resting in the quiet, and I'm giving that to myself, and I'm training a muscle that says this is as important as anything else that I have deemed very, very important. As important, or maybe more. And you might begin to see that some things around you are not as big or real or as upsetting or whatever you want to, whatever, however you want to name it. Now, that's not to say that things aren't happening right now that are unkind to the planet and unkind to people, you know, and action and working towards it or knowing what your part in that is important. Yet having the pause to know what that action is really important to do. So it gives you an opportunity to say, well, what's my part? What's my part to play in this? Which is a beautiful sentence to ask yourself. What's my part? And is it a part that comes from a deeper part of me, or does it come from a I have to or else kind of thinking, which is more about obligation, which is more about shoulds, which are a limited mind structure that we may place upon ourselves or have had in our system for a very long time. So as things are crumbling, as things are breaking down, and how we see how to live and how to be in life and on this planet, we're going to move away from those shoulds and those have tos and those caged, limited ways of being. And we have to ask, what's my part to play that feels like it comes from this pause? That comes from a life-giving, natural place that doesn't feel tight. It doesn't feel, and so it's good to know the contrast, right? So we have been shown the contrast of things and the fear that it brings up, right? Like when someone's really scared and they want something, they might push or force or want to take over someone's land. I had that in my family history too, where my grandmother had to go through that. So I know viscerally what that feels like to find out where is home. You know, what is home for you on lots of levels, right? And to say, yes, that might exist, and yes, I might have to speak to those moments, but can I come in and untangle enough from the belief systems that are limiting me? And my cat is speaking and saying, yes, yes, say it. Can I take care of myself, know what is true for me, and act from that truer place? And do my part to bring love, to bring centeredness, to bring kindness to myself and to others. You know, so there's many ways to look at this. how can I play a different part in this world that we're in? And it could be raising a really awesome grandchild or child, or being part of a community of friends, where you can hold your presence. You can stay strong to who you are and honor that and not do anything that goes against who you are. You know? And so Rumi, said, what you want wants you, and you don't have to go out and grasp and take from someone, which is what is part of this I need to take over someone's land and some home thinking, right? I have to take it or I won't have it, which is a very I won't have enough kind of thinking. And so if you have any piece of that operating in you, maybe not so much to the point where you're going to hurt someone to do it, but do you feel like there's not enough? Do you feel like you have to take what you can? Or can you come into your center? Feel the abundance that is just right here. It's like all these beautiful flowers are all around you, and you have this glass window and you don't smell them. You haven't opened the window to smell them, but they're right there. They want to come to you. They want to come to you. And all it means is redirecting your gaze to that, out of the limited mindset. And for those programmers, left brain people out there, can you change the script, right? Out of a if this then this only scenario, where it's much more open-ended, right? Where you can go this way, or you can go this way, or this way, right? Where there's other opportunities that you can give yourself in the programming. So these are the moments, that moment where you can make a different choice. And it's going to be uncomfortable if you haven't been used to it, right? When we have lived with things that haven't been true for a long time, we might adopt some of them and unconsciously live in obligation to them. Unconsciously live in obligation to them. That doesn't mean we don't love the people. That doesn't mean we don't love one another, and it doesn't mean we don't love us. But it's just something that it doesn't fit anymore. Can you go beyond that? Can you go into your pause? What helps you pause? Go into that frame of rest, you musicians. Listen to the birds, take that walk. Do that meditation, that yoga pose where you breathe and you focus on your breath and only your breath going in and out of your nostril, and you're like, whoa, this is an awesome thing that I'm breathing. And the gratitude starts coming in, and you're like, wow, my whole body can heal itself when I honor it and allow it and let it inform me and tell me things. All of these pauses are not wastes of time. They're calling you, like the birds calling you. They're calling you back to you, back in here, into that sweet place that goes beyond the should voices. Should, have to, must, obligated, you better hurry up. I'm gonna, I gotta. That's a very different energy, and we can have subtle versions of that voice still operating. So when you go in and you acknowledge and witness and notice, and you tell some of those voices, you don't live here anymore. This is not who I am. You got to claim it. That is one way that you can do your part. in this planet of harmful voices and behaviors. When you guilt trip yourself or someone else, that is one of those voices. No. Notice. Pause. You are more than that. And you don't banish the inner child. You don't banish yourself. You're not hurting anyone. You're just telling the pattern of thinking to go away. You're dissolving it. Claim that. And you are doing something to bring light and love to this planet. Feel that. Feel the truth of that in your body. Breathe that in. And then choose more of that so that the other dissolves completely. You will still be here. That's just a fearful thought that says something, you're going to die and you're going to be in oblivion. No, you're still going to be here and you're going to shine your light and all will be well. In doses, right? It starts here and here, and then it ripples out, and then you bring presence everywhere you go, to people you meet, people you talk to, people who are going through a hard time. And you can love more. Know your limits, though, right? Give yourself times of rest. Listen to your wisdom. What is your body telling you? What is the voice that stands true beyond the shoulda, woulda, couldas? Beyond the shoulda, woulda, couldas, right? Yeah, that's what you're looking for. And as Rumi says, then it'll just come because you're breaking open these little tendrils of light. You're like a big shining light that's going to just break through any of those walls that have been around you. And nothing can touch the light that's in you. It takes time. It begins with a pause. And I wish that for you. And I send lots of love and blessings to each and every one of you for being on this planet and doing your part and learning to navigate that now. Until next time. This is Tina Kerguelen, and we'll talk again.